Oh my god, who the fuck is this guy? He's just joined our call.
Are we
This
being?
random ass dude.
Are we under attack?
I think we're under attack, boys.
Yeah, I'm supposed to be
I'm
the
just
only
kidding.
no camera one here.
Bum,
Oh,
bum.
and now we've got we've got
Oh, and
Nate
then
self-destructing.
Nate just self-destructs, and the entire campaign implodes. I'm just kidding. We're back, the Boundless Shores. We're joined by a new player. His name is Sheldon. Please give him a warm welcome. And that's it. That's all you get. Nope, just one clap.
I feel very warm now.
It's because I drugged you.
Oh, damn.
Don't worry, that's
I'm
how he
Dungeon
got
Master
all of us to
West,
play.
joined with me. Oh yeah, exactly. No, I've kidnapped all of them. You know, you think you're in the basement? They're in the sub-basement.
Was a sub basement? Where's the
I
entrance?
haven't eaten for months.
My ass.
Sounds like an issue,
Oh
not
my.
an ishme.
Joined with
Boy,
me as
talk about
always. We got
having-
Owen, we got Chris, we got Nate, we got Liam, and now, of course, Charlotte.
Bow, 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 bow.
Our question of the day is going to be two things, because it's one that I resort back to, and especially because we got a new player, I would like to hear his insight. What is your favorite thing about D&D, and what kind of bender from Avatar: The Last Airbender would you be?
Oh, I could easily answer this. My favorite part is character creation, and I'd be an earthbender.
Boom. Who's up next?
Oh,
I'm
that's a hard one.
gonna have to go with finding an obscure rule set and finding synergistic feats to go with it. With that out of the way, my profession is
I just want like min max spread across the board with just like pitiful like um confetti going.
you joke, but I mean it is basically a corkboard and string. Now, as for Bender, well, I mean, I'm a welder by trade, robotics, so I mean, unfortunately, I can't metal bend with fire bending, but ultimately, I gotta say, I probably went out with playing with fire. So,
Yes, Fire Nation. Shoutouts.
Part about D&D is just, just creating a collaborative story with the characters that we create and the storylines that we make along the way. I think that's a huge aspect of Dungeons and Dragons, because without that, we wouldn't really have a campaign now, would we? And the type of bender that I would be an airbender, for sure. Dexterity and mobility over everything else.
All right.
I feel like that's me to a T.
You also got to remember, most airbenders are, well, by most, I mean all. They're all monks as well. So you gotta think about the lifestyle you'd have to change up to obtain your bending and train.
You gotta be like a celibate monk.
Aang, do we really need to bring up the whole topic of Aang here?
Oh, true. But he never opened his seventh chakra, though.
Don't matter. Korra. She came
Didn't
down
he?
the family line somehow.
Didn't he technically open up his chakra during the fight with Ozai, like when he hit his back on that rock? He
Yeah,
accessed
but
the
he didn't.
avatar
Started
powers.
going again.
Yeah, but he didn't open his seventh chakra, so he wasn't as powerful because he chose mortal attachment over letting everything go.
It's the same reason, I guess, why like Zahir in Korra could fly at the end, is because he lost the one thing that was keeping him attached.
That's true. That was a really cool detail. Owen, what do you think?
Honestly, it's between character creation and combat for me. And I think I would be an earthbender.
All right. Shalin, it's up to you now. What are you saying? What's your favorite thing about D&D?
My favorite thing is probably the role play aspect of it, because I think that is the core of D&D. You wouldn't be able to like it wouldn't be as exciting or you wouldn't be as invested if you didn't become like one with your character. Like the feeling you get when you experience the emotions that a made up fictional like bunch of numbers on your screen, like it's just insane how you could become an entirely different person and live out this fantasy. And as for my the type of bender I'd be, I want to say earthbender, but as a subtype, I think I would prefer lava bending over metal bending just for shits and giggles.
And he's a wizard, so that scares me. Fireball the
I'm
room. I don't care how big the room
dude,
is.
I'm a wizard who's still looking at spells because I don't know how many spells I'm supposed to put. I don't know what you want from me.
1,136. Oh,
I don't. Oh, I'm not writing that
I
many
don't
down.
know. I don't know, Doc.
Dude,
Anyways,
I have
I
no
have-
spells.
I'm less.
I have to say I have to agree with your view on role playing. There's been a lot of times where we're role played and I feel myself physically angry or in the middle of tears because of it.
And I think that's what makes D&D like the best is you feel the emotions that you would never feel in your normal daily life, and you're just like, wow, I can feel the emotions of another person. Like you're empathizing with a made up character with no visual description.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
I absolutely agree. I think my answer is kind of a combination of Shalin and Nate, where I love as a DM, I love building stories and worlds and shit. I think what really like gets me is being able to work off of one of my players, or when I'm a player, work off of the DM and just create just this beautiful moment of just pure fun and pure storytelling that behind the screen when I'm typing and when I'm coming up with these stories, it's not what I would expect ever, but it's what I need. It's it really wraps together. Like, yeah, I'm the DM and I control everything, but what you guys do matters and changes everything, and I just love those changes. I love, honestly, I complain about it, but I love when you kick me on my ass with some spells and go, God, get out of this one, DM. And I'm like, my hands are tied. I'm like, I don't know what to do. Yeah, I love those moments. It's beautiful. It's great. It's awesome. And I just love working off of you guys and just being able to create these beautiful moments. Like, I think last episode is a testament to that. Working with Nate and creating his moment, and working with Calduin and Tobin and mixing Layla in there and creating their moments. So much fun. And of course, Fire Nation. I'm a firebender. Easy, true to my heart. I love firebending. I think it was the coolest thing I've ever seen. Even though technically one of the weakest elements, technically, but it's still so sick, dude.
Would you want
So,
to learn like lightning bending as well, or would you just
oh
stick with
yeah,
fire?
absolutely. Lightning bending is so cool. Well, that was sick. Liam, do you want to recap last episode?
I had a feeling this was coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So we
Well, no, Shaolin, recap last episode.
Rocks fell, everyone died, and was resurrected immediately because plot armor.
Dang, spot
True.
on.
I got you. Don't worry.
Okay, my job's done. So no.
Big move.
So We make our way.
I blame a critical shortage of James.
We make our way inside of the. We start outside the manor. We make our way inside and meet up with Kay, who we talk about the ongoing situation, what happened, gives him the rundown, and then he forces all of us to a 4-day permanent bed rest. So we all rest up and heal all of our constitution damage that we have taken. We take a check on Beckett to see how she's doing. She's still screaming, writhing in pain. And Layla comes down and rests her hand on her temples and casts a spell which gives Beckett some relief and seems to calm her down for now, but still in a comatose like state. Um, After that, we start to we were about to begin Layla's training. Um, Tobin had to be the waiter to get her food. Goes down to a training yard. Calduin's not too happy. Gets shoots beside her head to intimidate her. Just before we do the training, we go down, check on Beckett one more time, and as we're doing that, Jonathan is meditating, trying to find more about the spores, which he finds will lead him to the Scarf Forest back to his home. So we come back up, see where Jonathan is, and he's surrounded by fire. Tobin does his best to go in and calm him down. Once he's calmed down, Jonathan tries to say, "Hey, I need to go do this myself," and the rest of us are like, "That's not happening. We're going with you. We're in this together." We still have time before. Oh, I forgot to mention we also got a letter from one of the lore keepers. I can't remember which one.
The Friar Lord Keeper.
Friar, that's right. It started with an F. Friar lore keeper invited us to a gala. No,
It's like a party. It's kind of like a gala, I guess. It's like a small get together.
invited us to a
Party for Paylor's Day is what he called.
Okay. We invited to a party and a whole guest list, and we find that our friend Nees, my second character, will also be attending. We cut to Nees talking with oh crap, pulling a blank on the name. Wes, help.
You got it.
Ah,
I believe in you. Starts with a G.
I know it starts with a G. Gara? No.
A. Well, that's what he likes you calling him.
Okay.
His name is Gareth. He
Gareth.
likes being
That's
called
right.
Gara.
Gareth, also known as Gara, having a small talk with Nees in a earth elemental form, talking about how he hates the noise. Nees speaks back, and how he hates rushing water and prefers calm water. And he's talking back how there's beauty in both. And then Gara asking, trying to know what goes on with mortals and how they more or less take care of themselves. After the small conversation, we cut back to everybody, and that's basically what we did. It was a bit jumbled.
Yeah. No, you're good. So just getting us back on track. You covered all the main points. We find the Adenowl gathered on the front stoop of the Vampire Hill Manor. Alistair is found within the hole being carried by Tobin currently. I'll say it's being carried by Jonathan just because Tobin's not here. And we'll come to you, Shalin, in a few moments. But we're gonna track back just a few days. Alistair, you're in the hole. You sleep off the past events. You're found within your bed chambers. This is about 4 days prior to where we currently are. as you are left to your devices, left to heal of your constitution damage, but left mostly to your devices. No one's really come down to check on you. So, what does Alistair get up to as we're gonna fade in as you wake up after sleeping off the night previous. So this is day 1 of 4 that you have.
I'll climb up to the workshop level. Zinnia!
My lord.
I have a few tasks for you. And
I love tasks.
that is
Could you, just for new eyes here, could you describe briefly about yourself and Zinnia?
Alistair is a middle-aged craftsman of sorts. He puts on a profound show as a salesman of assorted magical eccentricities and assorted objects that he finds of fascinating value. His left arm is entirely made out of mithril, as there doesn't seem to be any biological arm there at all. The rest of his body is fairly straightforward. He has auburn hair that cuts out into mutton chops. He has a set of rather dignified courtier's clothing in order to sell up his salesman side as a more elevated position than what he actually is. And other than that, he still needs to repair his acid-riddled workshop clothes that the coward had riddled full of holes. But with that in mind, he also tends to spend a fair bit of time focusing on the affairs of his portable pit, a 50-foot hole, 10-foot by 10-foot in area, and he's altered it to go from what might have otherwise been a portable trap to capture people and have them fall into a sinkhole in the middle of nowhere into what is effectively a live-in trailer, as each floor is 10 feet deep and then levels out into a stone floor, each of them featuring different functions. This is basically a mobile home and workshop. Zinnia is his fantastical little homunculus that is effectively just the world's tiniest flesh golem if it was made from the flesh of a tiny gray-skinned dwarf. Uh, while enthusiastic, he's basically the the undercraftsman to whatever vision that Alistair has at any point in time, and so will follow through on completing the more menial ends of his affairs while he engages inside of adventure with the rest of the party.
Oh, beautifully colored. Returning back to your conversation. My lord!
Yes, I have a task for you, or rather several.
I love tasks.
Up on the topmost floor, you might notice that there was some a bit of disarray from a number of chunks of shell. I want you to
The
collect.
Titans, sir.
Pardon?
The Titans, sir.
No, the dragon egg shell. I want to make sure that we keep all of that shell. Collect it and keep it safe. We don't know what uses that we might be able to find for that such material yet. It could be a very
Your
effective
mind is a
quantum.
marvel.
With that in mind as well, I have our secondary tasks that we previously discussed with our benefactor. And to that
Course.
end, I want to make sure that I am not interrupted during this time. To this end, I am going to start to stuff the bed with a number of the books. as soon as we've finished breakfast and we've collected all of the fragments of the eggshell, I want you to stay inside of my bed and feign that you are me in case anyone comes down. Since I know that no one tends to go further than the workshop level, I think that this is unlikely, but we need to be prepared all the same. And since I know that no one ever goes down to the very bottommost level, I will stay down there in the privy, specifically in the bath. I will make my connection to the ego from there.
Of course, sir. I look forward to napping in your place.
First things first, though, I'm going to get into that provisions box and I'm going to have myself a good breakfast because I don't know what the rest of my day is going to entail.
Good luck to you in your adventures, sir. I shall work right away.
And with that, I'll reach into the provisions box and pull out an array of whatever the randomized food from across the megaverse it is today. Okay, looks like some dried plums, more hardtack. This is a thin cheese. Huh. And okay, well, I mean, I'll gladly take some jerky. Why not? Okay, breakfast. All right. And with gusto, he delves into his provisions for the day before settling back down to the living quarters level. Once there, he'll collect the mask that had been bestowed to him as a conduit from from ego, and tucking it under one arm, he clambers down on into the privy level, gets himself comfortable inside of what would be an empty bath at this point, and slips on the mask.
In the moment you slip on the mask, where our camera is going to pan to time about similar place. This time we find Sparrow. Would you go ahead and describe your character?
Yeah, of course. So Sparrow is this scholarly looking elf in these nice adorned robes, and you can see he's about 6 feet tall, uh, maybe 200-ish pounds. You look at his eyes, you see one eye is this dull gray color, and that's his left eye, and his right eye is this bright, like blue, the kind of blue you'd see in a beautiful sunny, like a beautiful sunny sky. His skin is quite fair, compared to some elves, but he pulls it off. And his hair is like this orangish kind of thing, but like it's very scruffy though. But it kind of goes with his whole look.
Sparrow, you have been sent out of Elra with a task from your superiors. This is a final of sorts of exams for you, is that you have been sent out on a secretive mission to track down a certain item, and your lead is this misfit group of mercenaries. They call themselves the Adenau, and you believe that they may have a connection to this item.
Sorry, the group's
Uh,
called what?
the Adenau, ADE-NAU apostrophe UL. The
ADE
Adenau.
ADE
Yep,
hyphen
yep.
NAU
Apostrophe UL.
apostrophe. Yeah.
The Adenau.
Okay, I see.
So, you traveled your way to the mainland of New Daria, where you spoke to a nice gentleman in kind of a rundown pub. That the Ade now will frequent a island called Blackmere. This island is kind of like a haven for all sorts of magical types, and it's a beautiful island city that it's cast eternally in night with glowing orbs of dancing lights running down the main strip. You've been told by this nice gentleman in this rundown pub on the mainland that they frequent this island, and you should ask a man named Kiriki for their whereabouts. So we find you, Sparrow, walking down the streets of Blackmere. This is a beautiful city. It's about probably 7 o'clock, but you can't tell because the entire city is masqueraded by a evernight spell. As creatures, magical of all sorts, walk these streets, buying and selling magical merchandise and arcane equipment. So we find you walking down these brimming streets.
And I'm looking. Sorry, and I'm looking for like the
You're
building
looking
they
for a man named Kiriki.
a man named Kiriki. Do I know the approximate location of what building this Kiriki would be in, or would I be just searching for that? Just
You're
that person.
the gentleman at the rundown pub said you're looking for a man named Kiriki, and he's in Blackmere somewhere.
Okay.
That's pretty much all you're working off of right now.
Okay. So, Sparrow would I would start walking around, and I'd be taking in the wonders of this magical city. To come from a place of magic practice, this is very different. It seems like it's more abstract and less orderly than what I'm used to. So for me, this is an entirely new experience, and Sparrow's just walking around with this look of wonder on his face. Uh, After taking in the environment and the people and the fact that it's just always nighttime, which he's like, okay, that's just very, very unfortunate for getting vitamin D. He's going to look for any person with some sort of like friendly demeanor or like body language, just someone who won't be like who's not like gruff and angry and bitter. Just trying to find someone who's having a good day.
You see this almost grandfatherly type. He wears kind of like stereotypical wizard garb. He's got a long pointy hat. He carries a basket full of spell components as he's half smiling, trotting down the road a little slowly. Just he's also taking in the sights, and as he stops at a cart and he snips a turnip and puts it down and nods at the salesman and continues to wander on.
I'll approach that old man. I'll say, Excuse me. Sorry to bother you.
Oh, no problem at all.
You
Young
you,
elfin friend.
you, s- you You seem like you know this area. Would you happen to know where I could find someone named Kiriki?
Kiriki, yes, yay tall, gnomish man. He's a fine chap. You'll find him at his shop down the way. Kiriki's Karinky Dinks.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate your assistance.
Have a lovely day.
You as well. And I
Here,
will.
I take this sack of gunpowder. You look like a arcane prowess man.
I am. Thank you very much.
This might
So,
help in your journeys.
so I'm just adding that into my inventory.
Good day, young chap.
A good day to you as well. Uh, After being very confused as to being given a pouch of gunpowder, I'm going to put that in my bag and continue my way looking for Kiriki's shop.
You, a few blocks down the way, you find the swinging sign of Kuriki's Kuriki Dinks. You see it's the iconography is like a mortar and pestle, but instead of like a pestle, it's a wand, and magic kind of flourishes out of this mortar and pestle. As
I'm going
you
to I'm going to approach the
look,
door.
you see dark lighting within the interior as a note is scribbled onto the door. It says, closed for now. Apologies.
Uh, because I don't want to waste I don't want to waste too much time. I've already made my way over here. I'm going to politely just kind of give like a nice knock on the door, and just see if by chance he comes to open the door.
After a few moments, no knocks.
No, nothing. All right. Well, if Kiriki doesn't seem to be here, and this seems to be the best place to find him, I might just wander about and see where the city life takes me, and just explore and come back at a later time.
You're gonna wander off and explore. Where we're gonna put a pin in that moment as Sparrow just enjoys an evening in Black Mirror. As we are going to return back to Alistair donning the mask. Takes a deep breath as a kind of a pungent, thick smoke kind of hits your lungs. As your eyes begin to feel heavy. As you open your eyes, you're still within the privy level, but you see on the opposite wall, you see two quartz pillars that lead, and between these two quartz pillars, shimmering yellow, smoggy, disgusting, thick smoke meshes the barrier.
Ugh. And that's my cue, I suppose. Climbing out of the bathtub, he starts to make his way over towards the portal provided by the pillars.
You walk your way through. It's thick. Kind of have to purge through it a little bit. As you purge through, you're within this familiar circular ruined quartz temple. You see tables littered all around with alchemist's equipment and beakers and vials and tinctures and burners and all the sorts. You see a familiar humanoid figure. You see his hands and his face are made up of this yellow smog. You see his clothes are like a dark leather with many straps and buckles and pockets. As this figure turns to look at you, his yellow, smoky smog head taking the form of a World War I gas mask as he looks to you. Alistair, darling. Excellent to see
Poison.
you again.
And indeed for
Ego,
you.
please. We'll partners, Alistair.
I figured that it was better to use title first, but as you wish, Ego.
Are you
Now,
prepared to work on our little project, my friend?
yes, to that end, I want to make sure that we are absolutely clear. This affair where you carved into my arm in order to send me the reminder,
I'd
while,
assumed you've forgotten.
oh, certainly not, but let's not beat around the bush. We both know that you're keeping an eye on the entirety of the group.
Of course
You're
I am.
not
I
going to.
care about you deeply, Alistair.
You're not going to pretend as though you thought that there was going to be a more convenient opportunity to meet before this. Now,
I thought you'd carve time out of your busy schedule for your benefactor. No, I am funding your projects.
you have made a trade agreement with me. You have
I
not
have.
funded any project of mine. We have come to the agreement that in exchange for my skill in crafting you a new vessel, that I in turn received the information that I sought.
Which brings me to my next point. There have been a change in plans that I think you should be aware of. My benefactor, he's moving his plans a little bit more forward than to what I was hoping for. See, I still plan on delivering my half of the bargain, but I need a guarantee that you will keep your half. With this new information, it causes a wrinkle in both of our goals.
I am a craftsman of no small skill. I assume that if this was a more common matter, you would have simply taken to your assistance in the matter of the Forge Master, who we've seen has produced so many multiple useful little trinkets to march around at her demand. But you need something more bespoke.
Hmm.
This is where it is a matter of my pride.
To share this information, I need a guarantee. Are you willing to make a blood pact with me?
That has always been a firm sticking point, friend. I have no interest in being shackled in the same way that, let's face it, you've engaged in my comrades.
You
I will.
confuse my relationship with her. I indulge merely on interest. I still care for her. Not like her other friend I have been watching.
I've recently heard that she's taken a turn for the worse. Should something happen to her, that leaves only I that you are in contact with amongst my group.
If you fail to deliver, how do you think they would fare with their relationship with you? Someone who's taken a shady deal with a dreaded celestial. Please, Alistair, do you think they would not betray you if you fail?
I have confidence inside of my allies. I have not for 1 second proposed anything contrary. I have been there right from the moment that we had our soiree at the Isle of Icar. When there was the opportunity, I was the one that was interested in reaching across the table, negotiating amongst both groups. Because let's face it, ultimately, the father is a threat to both of us. We need to consider the fact that when presented with this threat, simply lashing out at each other only serves to aid the ends of father.
Would you
I
betray me?
I am the
If
one
you
that's
found it
reaching
out,
out to you.
if you found it out, would you betray me?
if we had not engaged inside of a agreement prior, I would still see you as a rival intellect and a threat to my person, but I would not engage further.
So if I gave you your end earlier, would you betray me on mine? Would you not fulfill your end of the deal?
I would fulfill my end with my word and my promise.
He's gonna roll an insight check. Or a sense motive check. You can either roll a bluff check or a diplomacy check. But don't tell me what you roll. Just tell me the number.
All right. My check's result is a 17.
With a 27 sense motive, are you telling the truth or are you lying?
That was a diplomacy check.
You were telling the truth. Good. Volnar's moves his plans ahead. They plan to attack you where it hurts.
They
This
already
attack
have,
will be coming. No, worse. You have no home. They're gonna attack the manor.
that sounds preposterous on its face.
Volnar is getting antsy. His plan is working, but he's scared of you. And that fear is driving him to anger. He wants to eliminate you. So he's going to attack you in the heart of your organization and where all your allies are meeting up. This attack will be coming within the next week. I cannot tell you when. No, they did not tell me. It will be coming soon.
This is rather unexpected from a god of vengeance, blood, and innovation. I would have expected it more from someone weak-willed.
Fear is something all of us struggle to master. Gods fear the most.
They have the
What they
most to lose.
You know it as well as I do. Alistair, do not make me regret telling you this. I cannot stress enough. I will do to you what I will do to her and what I will do to all of you. You wrong me. I'm not a patient man.
I understand. Of course, you know that there's no way that I can possibly allow this to happen while she remains inside of her current state in the basement there.
Well, I think that will help both of us. Beckett knows her vitals. You know yours. So, I thought it might be a benefit for both of us if she comes back a little earlier than expected. Don't you?
What do I need to do?
Convince her. She will fight. She won't agree with this. Convince her that you have to hold up this bargain. 'Cause if you don't, bad things will happen. It's not a threat, my friend, that's a promise. I like you, Alistair. I do not want to taint your mind. But if you so much as cross me, I will make you drool slobbering on the floor with no more intelligence to wipe your ass with. You like your mind? You better keep it.
What would you have me convince her?
Build me the fucking body. Both of you. Both of my prodigies together to build me. To return to step on your soil. Olna cannot dream of the intelligence that you two and my guidance can share. And if this works, you could bring her back. You know of whom I speak.
What is the form of your body that you'd wish? I presume that you want to have
Humanoid.
something more profound than just a common goal.
Well, if you're prepared to start making designs now, I have the old upper file folder. I've made a couple of specifications that we could work together on. I will be keeping a close eye on this project to make sure you don't cross me.
Crossing you will do no good if you are the one that's still holding all of the cards. You hold Beckett, you hold Lavender, you hold the Tear, and you hold the Betrayer Necromancer. What I have is a body that's capable of still enchanting your new form.
Have my trust. Let us work. We shall get underway. You're gonna spend the next couple days. You can, instead of role playing this out, you could just decide whatever you choose to want to do, anything you want to enchant in these next couple days, if you want to continue work with ego in these next couple days. But I think we're gonna get ahead on catching our story up to present time as we continue.
No, that's fair.
So do what you got to do. I trust you to do your stuff. If you're continuing to work with ego, that's okay too, as you guys begin to draw plans together. We are going to catch up with the Ade Naul. Or, well, the remainder of the Ade Naul on the surface. Calduin, Orgolan, Layla, Yonatan, Peter, and Tobin. But
We lost to Jonathan.
we lost to Yonatan.
Quick pause.
Quick pause. We find the remainder of the Ade Naul. We find Orgolan, Yonatan, Calduin, Layla, Peter, and Tobin out on the front stoop of the Vampire Hill Manor.
So, to Scarf Force then.
Yes, let's do it. We need to get this done as quickly as possible. As Jonathan is going to pull out his vial of mushroom spores and just shake it up a little and open so that a few of the spores come out. And then he's to cast detect magic to see where the spores are going.
Unfortunately, with the detect magic, you are unable to detect where they're going, and you know from like the anatomy of the Amicus Eternus. It's a very difficult fungus to smell with your humanoid nose. Like, you need a very tuned nose to be able to track the Amicus Eternus.
Okay, I'm... Alright, well, let's go. I have taken I took a full rest before this, so I can prepare spells again.
Yep.
We've had 4 days of rest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
So, just trying to find it.
Although I will, because you seem you like, if you want to wild shape now, you totally can. But you kind of letting a few spores out. You can see with your own eye that they do indeed drift towards the southern reaches of the Scar Forest. So I'll give you that, like you know where to start with your journey, so you don't have to do it now. You just have to get there and then start the tracking process.
Okay, cool.
Sorry,
And
just to interrupt your train of thought.
uh, and the Scar Forest is in Palos.
Yeah, it's it's like the southern side of the Scar Forest is that clump of forest south of Palos.
Okay,
That's where your hometown is, or was,
yeah,
I
alright.
guess.
Just wanted to make sure.
Yep.
I turned to Layla. You gonna be okay to go through the graveyard again?
Ah, I'm not gonna lie to you, Calduin. I'm scared, but I think this is another test to prove myself to you guys. And if it's okay, can I try?
You don't have to prove anything to us, but if that's how you feel,
But I
I'll be
have to.
close. I'll be close behind.
Uh,
Calduin.
where's Blackmere on the map?
Blackmere is a small island just south of the Darn Empire. It's that immediate island that's directly like southern to it. So it's right here.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, that's Blackmere.
Alright. Yeah, I'm just going to. Do we still have the ship?
Just give me a call when you're
You do, but honestly, it'd be faster for you to walk.
Okay. We'll just start. I'll just start walking to the Scar Forest.
Yeah, so what Calduin and Layla are talking about is the city of Graveyard, that haunted city that lies between the Vampire Hill Manor and the actual town of Blackmere. So we find the Arinawul along with their companion Layla and Peter trailing behind. Say get to that section of the road that are lined with pebbles. You see the empty, harrowing huts of Graveyard that lie in this quiet, desolate city. You see Layla walks up to where the path connects into the town of Graveyard. She takes a deep breath. She begins to step one foot very timidly and cautiously through. She's now going to make a will save. And with deep breaths, she walks beyond Calduin's reach. She walks a couple of steps, maintaining her deep breath, maintaining her focus on the other side of that path. She, a couple times, you see her kind of flinch for a moment and almost look, but she shuts her eyes real tight. Breathe deeply again and continue walking forward. Most of you guys are already trained to the effects of Graveyard, that you guys are able to walk through without issue. Alistair, can you roll me a will save?
He's still in the pit.
As far as I know,
Oh yeah, he's
Alistair's
still in the pit. Never mind. Yep, you're right. My bad.
I have a hold of
I
Snapple
forgot
just
about
so he
that.
doesn't run away.
You are grabbing onto Snapple as he's freaking out and he's ruffling in your hands, but you hold a tight grip.
No, the
As
past medicines.
as, you pass through the town of Graveyard unharmed. You walk down that main strip of path towards the foggy domed exterior of the town of Blackmere. You purge your way through, looking once again upon the night ever casted upon this town, the dancing light lanterns that dance and bob their way down the main strip. Of course, the plethora of magical beasts and creatures and people of all different types are bustling around and buying and selling merchandise.
I I put my hand on Layla's shoulder. Proud of you.
That was a lot.
Always is the first few times.
I don't think I'll ever be able to get over that fully.
Shows you're human.
Thanks, Gal.
Well, for the most part, anyway.
Well, let's say we hit the road.
Yeah.
Let's go.
And
The Adinaul strutting down the main strip. Do we have Sheldon back, by the way?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Text him one more time.
I did.
I'm gonna just talk to Layla while we're walking down the road.
What do you go ahead and say to Layla as she's, kind of centering herself for a moment as she kind of wipes a quick tear away as she takes a couple more deep breaths.
Hey man, how's it going? You doing okay?
Yep, I'm doing peachy keen, thanks.
You want a flask of water or anything?
I'll be okay.
All right. Well, just wanted to let you know that the first couple of times in that graveyard were rough for me too. I saw a bunch of dead animals that I had poached in my first couple of weeks and months from my from my first couple months waking up from whatever state I was in. I worry about got back.
Yeah, well, I don't know why anyone would want to be near a place like that.
I don't
Well, the
You
other
know.
thing is
just fucking just needed to get to the vampire.
he
The
is good
graveyard
as
was the quickest way for us to go. So
Yeah.
teleporting is course.
You guys walk down the main strip of Black Mirror. You can see just like it's a beautiful twinkle in Layla's eyes as she looks around and goes, I've never seen magic this open before. It's beautiful.
Always is. You see me just looking around, reminiscing about times in my village where just everybody was laughing, spells being cast here and there, just the celebrations that would go down.
Hey, do you guys know that guy? He's been staring at us for a little bit.
What guy?
Where he shifts perspectives, and Sparrow, you have just the last couple of days hung out in Black Mirror, trying to gather as much information on the Ade Novel. You um not gaining much. You just kind of honestly lurking outside of Kiriki's, hoping that he comes back. As you find yourself leaning up against the dark panes of Kiriki's shop, looking out to the random bystanders that are milling about and shopping. You look upon a strange group. There's a lot of strange manner of creatures here, but this group that seems to be like talking and interacting with each other are they look strange to you. With warnings of people you've spoken to, information you have gathered, you know that this is kind of a ragtag group, and so you're kind of eyeing down this group of individuals as they walk down the main page. Sure. The main street of Black Mirror, as you see a young tan-skinned girl. She kind of points in your direction as this group kind of turns towards you and looks at you.
Uh, Sparrow would look behind him to see if they're looking at someone behind him that they might know.
You look at your own reflection in the dark glass.
Uh, uh, I would look back towards them and give them a very gentle wave.
This elven figure leaning up against Kiriki's closed shop kind of waves timidly towards you.
I walk forward. If you're looking for Mr. Kiriki, he's not going to be back for a while. Is there any particular reason you need him?
Actually, yes. You lot seem to know uh where you're going. And you seem to know people here. So, I'm actually looking for a group called the Ade Noel.
Ah, well, that would be us. May I ask why you're searching for us in particularly?
Absolutely perfect. So I believe our interests align. Uh, in which case, well, not so much our interests align, but my interest aligns. My interest has taken me to your group. Um, I'm looking for someone who used to be part of your group, a spellcaster of sorts, and he happens to have an item that I'm looking for.
You wouldn't be talking about Amarath, would you?
I believe I believe so. I didn't write down his name. That's the one thing I may have forgotten to write down.
The Necromancer.
Ah, yes, that's the one. So it's been a while since I've seen him, but that is exactly who I'm looking for. He has an item, and he took it from the people that I work for, and I'm on a mission to get it back. And in tracking his movements, I believe he joined your group or was a part of your group, and I was just wondering if you happen to know where he is.
His current whereabouts, we don't know, but it's not good to be mixed in with him.
So, unfortunately, you don't know his whereabouts.
No. We don't know, right, Wes?
No, but
Yeah.
you do know of a way that you may know his whereabouts through Alistair's crackpot plan.
But there might be a way to find him.
Would you be able to tell me how? I would really appreciate that. I'm on a little bit of crunch for time.
Unfortunately, you'd have to talk to our colleague about that, who's currently resting, as far as I know.
Of course. Well then, would you mind if I joined you until you rallied up with your colleague?
I suppose not.
All right. Nice to meet you, by the way. The name is Sparrow, and Sparrow reaches out his hand in a handshake motion.
I shake your hand while also tipping my hat. Name's Calduin. Now,
Haldowin.
now over there is Yonatan. I gesture to the other elf, Orgolin, gesturing to the drow. This is Layla and Tobin.
Tobin kind of nods towards you.
Uh,
He seems on edge. He's got his hand kind of positioned closer to his blade as he
uh,
seems kind of wary, but
I'll
he
give him
nods as
a slight nod, just as a courtesy.
I suppose we
he
should
nods back.
describe our characters.
Yeah, go ahead and describe your characters.
So, Calduin Gahiji has he is a Asherati, which is a race with rust red skin and no body hair anywhere. So he stands about 5'6", so on the shorter end of the spectrum. He wears your typical like Western style cowboy outfit with a sandy buttoned up shirt. On top of that, there is a chain shirt that you can see under his vest and his duster jacket. On the top of his head, he has a cowboy hat. Strapped to his side is a revolver, and on his back, he has a uh, bastard sword, correct?
It's bastard.
That
Like
has,
from Legend of Zelda?
pardon?
Say like a master sword from like Legend of Zelda?
No, bastard.
No, a
Oh,
Bastard.
bastard.
hand and a
Okay,
half.
okay. I was like, what?
On the hilt, it has a small bubble with sand inside. Um, on his shoulder, there is this uh, freakish looking apple that has how many legs, Wes?
6 legs.
6 legs. That sits on his left shoulder. That's
It's
Keldo.
got a massive toothy grin across its face.
All right.
Uh, Tobin and Layla, you see Tobin is kind of an armored, knightly individual. He has some components of his armor are like, they almost look like glass. He's a young, tanned man, dusty brown hair, as he kind of holds his hand near the hilt of his blade, which is a massive long sword. You see Layla is a similarly tanned young woman. She has dirty blonde hair, tanned skin, and wears kind of like patchwork leather armor with some studs on it. They both look fairly young, like 19 and below. Then Yonatan and Orgolan, whoever wants to go next.
Sorry, I also forgot to mention that he has eyes that are pure white, like ivory white.
Caldeman?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Yonatan is a fair-looking wood elf, around like probably mid-30s ish, maybe late 20s. He's 5'5", 125 pounds, with with hair that is lime green and just flowing out against the laws of gravity with
It's like his hair is like eternally cast in like water, like flowing water as it flows back.
yeah, and just has these big beady ocean blue eyes. Uh, he has just the typical clothing of a druid, with just green shirt, brown pants, and a forest camouflage cloak around him with its hood down. He has on his back, in his hand, he has this elven bow staff that has this exquisite emerald gem fixed at the head of the bow staff, with a quiver of live wood arrows at his hip, and a heavy wooden shield and a rapier on his other hip, with a with what looks to be a hole like lodged under his backpack, and
Hole?
he also has a tattoo of a leaf on his forehead.
So did you say he had a hole affixed to his backpack?
Yeah.
What does the hole look like when it's folded up?
You'd be staring down into the first layer, so it would be a fair bit of darkness, profound depth that shouldn't exist because it's being carried on a person, regardless. And at some point, you get a little bit of a flicker of light thanks to the ever burning torch on level 1. Eventually, it levels out into they're basically staring out into the floor, so they're probably looking at some segment of either lavender or the probably stone floor.
You
No, it
can
just looks like reality is being warped near, like on a back on a pocket of his backpack.
you can definitely see Sparrow has taken quite an interest to that.
Urgolan,
you-
you were last to describe yourself.
All right. So as you are looking at him, you see this kind of dark-skinned drow. I've got my hood down at the moment, so you see some blue hair that's kind of down to my shoulder. Um, I've got a kind of black, kind of a traditional monk's outfit, but it's more black with blue and accents all around it. You see on my left kind of chest, you see a symbol of my my home. Um, you also see I have a pair of kind of welders uh, goggles on my forehead right now, and
And your
you can't
crown.
really see it, but yeah, in my crown, yeah. You can't really see it
Just
right
like
now, but
sorry, go on and explain it. I'll explain your crown.
but, my eyes are kind of blood or a blood orange color. And yeah, I have a crown on.
Yeah, his crown is like kind of a steel gray, like dark steel gray, and that the front of it is like two fists holding a square, like almost like a glowing amethyst gem. That leads back to the back half, which is it connects to another two fists together, but you can see kind of like a glimmering like amethyst and sapphires dotted around this circular crown.
Okay. And just for clarification, can I get everyone's character name again, just real quick? So just
So
whenever.
Calduin is the
I'm
red-skinned
The
Ashrati.
Ashrati.
Yeah. Yonatan is the druid.
Okay, druid.
Orgolan is the drow monk. And then Tobin is the knight. And Layla is the girl.
Sorry, so Tobin is the knight, Layla's the girl, and what was the one before that? Orgolan?
Orgolan is the drow.
Could you
He's the
tell
one
me how
with
to
the
spell
crown.
that?
DROW.
ORGO.
Sorry, DR.
ORG. The drow is like a dark elf.
Oh yeah, sorry, the character name. The character name.
Yeah.
I know what a drow is.
ORG OLAN.
Thank you. I just want to make sure I have the names with the notes that I just wrote down, just associated. Gotcha.
Calduin is KHALDUIN.
Oh, I spelled that completely wrong. So it's
We'll send you a list of
Calduin.
all the character names in their
Calduin.
proper spelling. Calduin.
I have Calduin. That's why.
Ah.
Yeah, that's why I messed up. All right, that works for me. As long as I just have a general understanding of everyone's characters and their names.
Yeah. So, Sparrow is introduced to the Ade Naul as, on Calduin's word to wait to reunite with their friend who has more information on whatever item he seeks. Quickly, I want to call a quick break. I apologize. The Ade Naul, along with their new friends, the mysterious wizard known as Sparrow. We find them walking out of Black Mirror and down the bridge as you see the ghastly fisherman gentleman tip his hat towards you guys as you pass. as you guys walk up through the cave passage up under the mainland of New Daria. You guys walk past Old Durham, where you all look over to the decrepit Blood Moon Inn, residing within the small, ramshackle village of Old Durham. As you all kind of look there with it's not a bad feeling, but it's a weird, sinister feeling in the gut as you look upon the Blood Moon Inn as you pass by. Sparrow, you looking at these old decrepit buildings. You walk past, and that's the pub where you asked for directions, where you were directed to Blackmere. Does anyone do anything in particular as you pass by the Blood Moon Inn, or do we to continue fast with this uneasy feeling?
Good old Blood Moon.
I think Mr. O's still there.
It's always possible.
Rather not find out.
I'd rather not stick around, but this place brings back some good memories from when we were kind of still forming together as an adventuring party.
So is this place like part of your origin story?
We've gotten some, in quotations, help from the proprietor.
That sounds awfully shady. Am I right to assume that it's very shady?
In a way, yes.
About shit, more shadier than a darkness spell, but what can you do?
I mean, every business has its quirks.
Indeed. Jonathan is just gonna continue on.
Alistair, by this time you're getting a little antsy, and it's been a while since you've seen the sunshine. How do you connect with the surface while you're trapped in the pit?
Uh, I'll probably hop out every so often in order to get some fresh air, stretch the legs, and make sure that my body doesn't atrophy too terribly.
Pop out of the pit while it's folded up?
Well, I mean, I can make it up there. I can start climbing up the side of it and then look around from the inside and just kind of wave a hand out.
You know what? You do that as Sparrow. You see just a random mithril arm beginning to wave out of this abyssal confusion black hole at the bottom of Yonatan's bag.
Sorry, you said he is climbing out?
His arm is reaching out of the pit as it's like kind of trying to gesture towards the pit.
Does anybody else see this arm sticking out of this hole?
It seems like he's finally up. Jonathan, you better let him out.
Probably as I unpack the pit from my bag and just fold it open.
You unfurl the pit like a mathematician's nightmare. This cloth folds out, procuring this a subterranean workshop with stone floors as a man looks below and kind of waves his hand above.
Ugh.
Okay, it's safe to come on out.
The gravity always goes weird when you're holding it sideways like that. Can you just lay it flat inside of your backpack?
Sure.
Thanks. Her eyes start to climb out from the inside of the indented ladder of the stone face of the walls. Uh, oh, we're not inside of Black Mirror anymore.
Sparrow's
Okay.
looking quite disturbed.
I just start going ahead and folding up the portable pit again, or enveloping pit rather.
How are you feeling, Alistair?
Uh, well, I mean, it's just good to get a bit of a step out of the workshop every now and then. Gotta clear the mind and rejuvenate the self and get a little sunlight, I suppose, before I start turning about as pale as your eyes.
Yep. Sorry for not telling you or anything. Figured you needed the rest, but
We,
Jonathan,
we've been busy. I've been taking care of things on my end as well, so it all works out in the end.
Jonathan's found a lead on the spores, so we're following it to the Scar Forest.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Fresh face.
The second you point at Sparrow, Sparrow reaches his hand out and just says, "Nice to meet you. I'm Sparrow."
Oh, it's always wonderful to meet a new face. I'm assuming that this is someone that we've picked up on our journeys.
Yeah, they're looking for Amarath. Told them that they could stick around because you might have an idea on how to find them.
Uh, so, you're looking for Amarath.
Unfortunately, yes.
So, are you more on the side of turning a man into a smear or engaging him in thoughtful discussion and discourse?
I'm on the side of he has an item. I want it back by any means necessary.
I don't suppose it's something convenient and mundane like, I don't know, his spell book, spell component pouch, his.
It is a book.
Oh, thank God. Okay, that is such a relief to hear in and of itself.
It's a very unique book, and I need it back.
How about this? I'll make you a deal. If we meet up with him, I'll let you have the book as long as I get first dibs on anything non-literature.
Well, if he has any other artifacts that he's stolen from places of importance, and let's say museums or magical societies and things like that, I think it'd be best if we return them. But if you do want to take what's rightfully yours as like a finders, keepers, losers, what is it, weepers, then absolutely you can, as long as I get the one item that I'm after. That is all I ask for.
I'll make you a deal.
You see,
I get if I get my first dibs on it, I'll give you 10,000 gold pieces in trade goods.
I'm not really in it for the money, but I mean, I won't. As long as I get the one item, that's all that matters. I have to take the one item that I'm after.
You can
You see
have
the
as
girl
much as literature as you
uh,
like.
pipe up as she goes, so what are you looking for?
It's a book. It's a necromancy book.
Yeah, okay. Are you looking for like a fiction novel?
Where's
What are
my
you looking
bony cow?
Unfortunately, no. It's a book of um evil descent and it's a necromancy book, and he stole it, and I'm on a mission to get it back.
Wow, he's an elusive one.
Unfortunately,
Hey, I
Here's a
mean,
question, buddy. What's it called?
if you must know, I would rather not say it out in public. I would rather go to a place of privacy where we could discuss this with more detail, but away from prying eyes.
I
Well,
assure
from
you
what
that
I hear from Nature Boy,
we are the subject of so many prying eyes and constant divination and scrying upon that at this point it isn't even worth trying to make defenses against it. Just letting you know in fair appreciation of the levity of the situation.
Well, all right then. I suppose if you must know, please lean in so I can at least whisper it so people passing by can't hear it. I'm looking for a book, and the book he took is called The Necronomicon.
hey, say,
is that like a
Golan,
porno?
or Golan, didn't we see Amarath with the book when we first ran into each other?
Was that the book he stole from the festival?
I reckon it is.
Well, he stole it from Elra.
Yes.
And
I we ran into each other at a festival in Elra. He had some sort of strange-looking book, very ominous. And
ominous
trouble.
indeed. It has capabilities far beyond what I could possibly imagine. Very, very few wizards have ever seen the book, let alone read it or cast spells from it. Some of the more powerful spells than that could cause catastrophic events.
Like revive a
Like,
three-headed dragon.
Well, like defying the laws of nature and resurrection, and very powerful necromancy that could possibly raise maybe armies and legions of undead, and that he can just control all of them all at once, and it'd be pretty unstoppable.
How lovely.
unstoppable, unstoppable.
The kind that you want to. It's one of those stop it before it happens, because if it happens, you're fucked.
You see, Sparrow says this line. You guys have been walking along the roads long enough, as you guys have now walked on to the western eastern road of the Darn Empire as you face towards Palos, as you can see the dilapidated ruined towers above, as he says this.
Yeah, it sounds like another Tuesday for us.
Fighting legions of undead and killing a powerful necromancer with one of the most powerful artifacts ever known to man. It's that's just a Tuesday.
I mean, minus the inclusion of the artifact, that was our experience last time we wandered through Halos.
Who are you
Yeah.
people?
Madmen.
Misfits.
To say the least.
Well, I could say my life has definitely taken a turn for. I will see which direction.
It tends to be a very subjective matter. Up for you is left for me. Particularly when I'm in the hole.
I suppose that is true. Also, I would love to sit down and look at that hole one day, just like study the artifact.
It's fairly simple. It's just a slightly profoundly deeper version of your everyday portable hole.
Well, I mean, you kind of just popped out of it, and it looked like there was a bit of a workshop of some sort down there.
Oh yes, it's my sales floor, my workshop, my bedroom if you go down far enough, and after that a privy.
You
Interesting.
see Layla leans towards Yonatan and goes, "Is this flirting?"
I have no
Uh.
fucking idea.
Okay. Uh, Jonathan, you now lead the group on a off of the main road within the forest, the Scar Forest, the dominating forest. For Shallow knows hasn't seen the map. Well, you have, but you guys
Briefly, yes.
are here, and you guys are now heading in like a southeastern direction, leading you over route and around a tree and shrub. Jonathan, you find yourself at the entrance of your old colony. You see, even still, some of the plants around it are scorched and unable to grow. It no longer secludes what was once your clandestine home of druids. You see the Varus tree in the center, wilted, its branches empty and sorrowful, as you lead your party mates into this circular, it's almost like cursed land now, as some plants refuse to grow within this area.
As Jonathan takes in these sights, you can see steam starting to come out of his body, and as a blue flame starts to appear around him.
See Tobin steps forward. Jonathan, are you okay?
No, I'm not.
Well, remember we have a goal here. I need you to take a deep breath for me. We have a goal in mind. Okay. You need to follow the spores, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just focus on that,
It's
because we
just,
can't help you if you lose control again.
it's so fucking depressing seeing my home in this such a decrepit state.
We'll fix it, but we need you to focus.
Yes, of course. You're
You
right,
see
Tobin.
Peter brushes up against your side, kind of nuzzles into your hand. It'll be okay, Dad.
Thanks, son. As I'm going to continue on trying to follow the lead of the spores.
I think you at this time would know to open your vial of spores to follow them.
Yeah, I'm gonna open the vial and then just shake out a couple more spores.
You shake out the spores as you see them drift up into the air and lead in a northern direction. But as they kind of drift a little far away, your nose begins to be unable to track them, as you need a more acute nose to be able to follow this.
Okay, I am going to cast I'm gonna cast Embrace the Wild, choosing to inherit the senses of a dog.
You begin to focus on the spell as you begin to sniff into the air. You can smell the spores as you. Honestly, the rest of the party kind of sees him return to like almost a primal state as he drops onto all fours and begins to sniff until he gets a direction to where he just starts walking off and following these spores.
Guess who's got us in?
The trail leads you northward, weaving between tree and rock, stone, shrub, as you perch out of the southern side of the woods. As you, in front of you, you see the ruined city of Palos. But you get almost like a floral scent in your nose as you see that the city is overtaken by uh, roots and vines and shrubs, as you see an abundance of green growing of the city. Um, Probably a lot faster than it should be, as it seems to be returning to nature. You see weeds line the cracks in the roads. As you guys travel through kind of the outskirts of the city, you see littered around on the floors is suspicious looking clumps of fungi and mosses growing over what look like oddly strange rocks. See thick vines grow from these clusters of greenery, and they snake up the houses and grow out of the roofs. Even some trees grow out of some of the chimneys of the houses.
I'd like to examine these plants and rocks and see if I can tell what they are.
I point out over to Sparrow. Yeah, the last time that we were here, this was covered in a vile miasma that was causing undead to rise from the very bodies of the living. Oh, and also, you'll notice that over there's a building with an entirely collapsed roof, first floor and second floor. That was us too.
Uh, uh, um, uh,
Yeah, the one right by the cathedral over there. You can see it. It's a little greener now than last I remember it, but yeah.
and this undead, did you find out the cause of it?
Yeah, kinda, mostly, but it's not as though we got to the root of the problem, so, I mean, it's still an active threat to this world.
I see what you did there, Alistair. That's funny. Yeah.
Um, would it was the Necronomicon the cause of this?
Indirectly. This isn't
I
this isn't even the effect of the Necronomicon, I'm afraid, directly.
Oh, well, that's quite concern. Well, if anything, I think that puts in perspective, if that's the case, how terrifying the Necronomicon can truly be.
And
If
an adequate representation of our Tuesday.
Oh, okay, so this is a Tuesday for you.
Yeah, just a normal Tuesday in the office. No big deal.
It wasn't a great day that day, but I mean, no one got especially hurt. At least amongst our group. Countless dead civilians.
Oh, that's quite unfortunate. Are these civilians the ones turned into the undead, or are these just innocent bystanders?
Yes!
So both.
Yes!
You in particular are quite concerning to me. You don't seem um morally aligned.
Oh. Ow. Oh.
I don't know. You just seem very happy-go-lucky about a bunch of dead people turning into zombies and skeletons.
Because look at the final result. We managed to survive the vast body of the zombie incursion that we were so frightened of. We managed to break down into a much more manageable and easily overcome scenario from what was once considered to be insurmountable odds and numbers. And we also took down a legendary creature from the very beginning of the ages. So I mean, we did our job, but we're not done yet. But we did our
Okay,
job that Tuesday.
so what I'm hearing is make sure I'm present for Tuesday.
Yes.
Basically.
Okay. You're a very odd bunch.
Yonatan,
told.
you crouch down and take your knife out to explore these suspicious clusters as you cut into the roots and expect your knife to scrape against stone. You see crimson liquid kind of begins to pour out of it as you tear some of the the greenery away. You see underneath are corpses. They seem to be kept fresh by the plants to continue to suck nutrients out of them to accelerate the growth rate of the area.
Oh, oh God. Hey, Lord Almighty. Oh, that is disgusting. Heck. As Yonatan is gonna just have like a green flame of just pure utter disgust surround him. Oh God. Ah, those are bodies. Ah.
Shouldn't this be right up your alley, though? I mean, this is an example of nature reclaiming from destruction and devastation and 100% post-consumer human being turned into fertilizer.
He's got a point. I mean, the trees and plants, they won't deny themselves of any nutrients to help them grow, whether it's rainfall or soil or, well, blood and corpses, as
And
grim as this
remember,
is.
and remember that most of these people were covered inside of that black miasma from the three-headed dragon. So I mean, this is probably a more optimistic case scenario than what I expected from Palos, to be honest with you.
Doesn't mitigate the stink of them much, though. I'll tell you that much.
Oh no, I imagine that with your amplified sense of smell right now, you're probably in hell.
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
quite putrid, and I'm standing a little distance away.
If we're done gawking, I feel like we should move on. I don't think we should be staying around here for too long unless we want to end up like that too.
That's probably a good idea.
Are you implying we're going to get ambushed by plants?
Anything's a possibility with us.
Oh, it's every day a Tuesday. It's every day a Tuesday.
Now you're getting it.
Oh no.
Yonatan, your path travels north as you crest out of the city of Palos, back into the forest as the trail continues northward. As around you, the woods become thicker, canopy overhead darkens at an alarming rate. See vegetation all around you growing thick and dark. Traveling forward, you see clumps of different breeds of mushrooms are clustered around, littered across this mossy, rocky floor. You see deep green vines that litter this claustrophobic trail that Yonatan sniffing and tracking and leading you on. I need everybody to roll me a reflex saving throw, please.
Uh,
14.
23.
21.
Dirty 20.
Three.
Did you get Orgola?
23.
No one get it above a 24, Stan, correct?
No.
No.
Yeah, Layla definitely didn't.
Yeah, no.
All around you, you see the vines begin to snake to life and toil around the ankles of the Adinaul as the vines tighten, and you are all entangled. You see almost thinner brown vines begin to snake down from the branches above as they begin to inch down towards you and wrap around you. What do you all do as you are entangled from your feet to these vines as more these vines almost are more lifelike as they snake down towards you and begin to crawl across you.
Do I have enough movement to grab my sword and try to hack at the ones at my feet?
You try to reach your hand down towards the sword as the vines around you begin to work faster as they tighten your arm to your chest as you grasp your sword, but you aren't able to pull it out from its sheath. As the ones around you begin to uh, um, contort and begin to suffocate you.
How far does this go? Like, is it just in our area?
This is probably 30-foot area.
30 foot. Okay.
W-
Cool. Since with that I get 55. So, as they're squeezing the life out of me, I will turn into my wraith form and shadow step out of the range.
Could you go
Oops.
ahead
Sorry, you went
and
really
describe
robotic.
Robot.
Oh, I'm doing a lot of things
Robo.
at once. Hello?
Robot.
Try again.
And
Hello?
Hello.
Hello.
there.
Hi.
Hello?
So, repeat what you
Could
said.
you go ahead and describe your wraith?
Yeah. So you see my body dissolve like sand and start swirling around as it rises back up into this red sand wraith with the shape of my hat on cowboy hat on top of my head. My face looking as death, and you can see the glowing of sickly purplish red coming from my chest as 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 when I appear, I disappear and reappear about 50 feet away.
Well, that was quite interesting.
What do the rest of you end up doing as these vines are contorting around you?
Would I be able to reach out to like anyone else that's like near me within 5 feet?
Um, sure. I'll
Yeah,
say Tobin's kind of planted near you as he's struggling in the vines.
sure. I'm gonna use my phase step ability and teleport him 30 feet towards the edge of the circle.
As you teleport Tobin near Alduin. Yoshi, what are you doing in this moment?
Do I still have some? Can I still use somatic components?
Your arms are being kind of contorted in a way that it'll be difficult for you to be able to cast spells.
Oh, okay.
Do you want to
But,
go ahead and roll me a knowledge nature check?
yeah, sure. That's a natural 20.
Damn. All right. With that, you kind of feel these vines beginning to crawl around you. As at first you begin to feel alarmed, but as you center yourself and back into your druidic roots, you recognize the brown, skinnier vines as assassin vines. But
Okay.
as they crawl around you, they don't actually seem like they're initially aggressive. As you notice, as you're kind of standing still and letting them crawl around you, they're not aggressive. They're curious.
Um, am I able to tell what they're curious about?
You, your party, as they seem to crawl around you, as this you may have walked into an assassin vine den or something, as they crawl down as they're inspecting you to see whether you're a threat or not.
I am going to try to speak in Sylvan, that we mean the plants no harm, and we're just passing through.
Roll me a diplomacy check.
Okay. That's a natural 19 on the die for a total of 27.
You speak out to these vines. Sparrow, you recognize his speech as he communicates with the plants, as the vines around Yonatan begin to loosen, and as they trail back to towards the branches, you see the vines below him begin to loosen as well.
Can I just kind of double on what he said in Sylvan, just kind of reassure them as well? Just like as a minor
You can
thing.
go ahead and roll me a diplomacy check.
Yeah, I don't have my skills set up yet, so I will just use my
Just give
normal. I'll use
yourself give
I'll use
yourself
my normal
plus.
modifier.
You can give yourself +5 on that.
Cool.
You probably at least have 5 ranks in
So plus-
diplomacy.
Uh, 14 plus 5 is 19.
They loosen around you. You see your other party members are kind of unaware of what you're doing. You see kind of Layla beginning to struggle as they kind of contort around her neck.
Layla, stop fucking struggling.
They're trying to kill me.
Leave my friends alone. I shout in Sylvan.
They continue to contort as they're going to make an attack against her. Where the fuck am I at here? Definitely. Yeesh. She's gonna take 22 points of damage as they tighten around her neck.
Can I do something dramatic?
Absolutely.
I'm going to cast Wall of Stone, creating a 5 foot by 5 foot square beneath both Layla and I. And we're going to end up standing atop of a 5 foot perimeter pillar, 25 feet inside of the air.
Can you make a grapple check with your spell attack DC against their grapple to try and break the vines? Because if you try to raise her up while she's being contorted, she might be stretched. So you'll have to make a grapple check to see if your stones can break the vines of the assassin vines.
Can I use my my Surge of Fortune?
Absolutely. You pop your vest as this pedestal kind of shoots up below her as the vines stretch and tear and break. Although you raise her up as a few more assassin vines begin to snake down and try to attack at her arms.
Better at her arms than at her throat. Anyways. But yes, that applied
That breaks
for both.
you and her out now, except for she's now being attacked by the assassin vines. Gorlin, you are still stuck in the vines. What are you doing?
Are my arms free or no?
For now, no, as the assassin vines are draped across your chest. Your arms are free, but your ankles are not.
Um. Um.
You can try and make either a strength check or a escape artist check if you want to try and break a tangle.
Where's my? Yeah. I'll see if I can break out. 18.
18, you try and rip at the roots and vines at your feet, but you just can't manage to break them as more wrap around your ankles. The assassin vines tighten more across your neck and your shoulders, trying to almost now pin your arms down. You still have limited access to them, but you don't manage to break out of the tangle.
Let's see.
Jonathan, you gotta. I think you just gotta communicate with them how you got out. You gotta, you know, coach your party through this because they don't speak Sylvan.
You gotta tell the plants that you're not a threat and you're just passing through.
How much of a threat was Layla before they went for his throat?
Layla was struggling, so that's why they attacked.
Sparrow's gonna chime in and he's gonna say, repeat after me, and then in Sylvan he's gonna say, um, "We mean no harm. Just passing through. We have no ill intentions here." But in Sylvan, he's gonna say
Okay.
kind of like repeat
Uh,
after me.
or Golan, roll me an intelligence check.
Okay, yeah. Um, that is a 22.
As you and Layla both begin to recite after Sparrow, as the vines begin to loosen. Uh, the assassin vine on Layla's arms begin to sneak back up towards the branches as they loosen enough and crawl away that you guys are able to step freely.
Is
Layla,
there anyone else tangled?
I think no one else is left tangled now. Or I guess Alistair, you aren't tangled anymore because you were brought up with your pedestals.
Alright. Just wanted to make sure. Because, I mean, they could have been stretchy.
Yep.
Layla, are you okay?
The new guy had to jinx that we were going to be attacked by plants.
I wouldn't say I jinxed it. I would just say I made um, an educated guess.
Would someone that is ever so delicately minded with their tongue inform these plants that if they pull that again, I have no qualms about erupting inside of a massive burst of flaming sands for the next minute and a half?
I don't
Threatening
think
them
it's
with at this moment.
a good idea to threaten the plants that let us go.
In Sylvan, Sparrow will just say, "Thank you for your understanding. We appreciate you letting us pass. Have a great Tuesday."
Thank you, Sparrow.
Always glad to help.
And
See
now,
Sparrow, a white grape falls from one of the vines and kind of plunks you on the shoulder. So it kind of falls into your hand.
Oh, a souvenir.
I revert back to my normal form and do a loud whistle signaling Snapple to come.
I'll become the maritime witch once more with weapon augmentation personal by turning my harpoon into a flying harpoon, scoop up Layla, and get back to ground level.
The party continues to trek forth.
I'm going to cast Cure Serious Wounds on Layla. 3d8 plus 12 points of healing.
I'd also just like to check in with Tobin and ask him. I apologize. I just to kind of say like I apologize for the sudden transportation. I just figured that it'd be nice to get somebody out of the mess.
It's fine.
I'm gonna-
Just maybe a little bit more warning next time.
Yeah, of
I'm
course.
going to
I
heal
apologize.
28 points of health. I'll be right
Perfect.
back.
Yeah. Layla's healed up back to full.
I walk beside Layla. Let this be lesson number 1. In any situation, keep a level head.
Yeah, you tell me that now. I think the lessons should come before the experience.
Learn from your mistakes. Lesson number 2.
All right, I'll keep that in mind.
And now the woods have some spontaneous architecture, so that's something. Still sits below the canopy, but visible.
Do you think this grape is poisonous? The one that the vines gave me?
Well, I mean, you could always cut it in half and offer a bite to an animal that you don't particularly care for, or you could just ask the druid to check it out.
The druid seems a little spaced out at the moment.
Were you that hungry? I mean, I can break out some rations if everyone wants lunch.
Oh, no. I was just curious. I mean, they the
Are
vines
we
gave me a
are we
grape, and I was
telling
just
him no for lunch? I could totally stop for lunch right now.
I'd say we should get out of the vines, the den before we start parking our bottoms down and having a meal.
I agree.
You guys trek, probably another 10 minutes forward, finding a nice kind of grassy clearing with a small trickling stream beside it.
I wouldn't say I'm the most observant. Would someone like to look around to see if there's any other vines that are going to attack us?
Layla looks up and just inspects the trees. I hope not.
I have the benefit of half a day's worth of flying harpoon. I think I'm going to sit astride this for a bit, at least until my nerves calm down.
Those of you who want to eat. I'll keep watch.
Okay, let's go ahead and see what's inside of today's menu. Alright, we've got. Oh, looks like rabbit. We've got rabbit. Haunch. Haunch. Anyone?
I'll take some rabbit.
I'll take
Alright,
whatever you want to give me. I'm okay with.
let's see, what else is inside of the pack today? Okay, it looks as though. Okay, well, we have some very, very hard bread. I'm going to assume that there's probably something more to go with this. Let's see. Oh. Okay, I just stuck my hand into a great big collection of jelly, so let's just slap that on top of the bread. Uh, anyone want some rolls with jelly?
Nature boy, can't you do some little magic and freshen up that bread for us?
Yep, absolutely. As Jonathan just weaving his hands around and just getting some magic and just blowing it onto the food and water to purify it as I cast purify food and drink.
The dough rises a little bit as steam kind of purges off of it, as now it seems freshly cooked.
Dried
Oh
pears.
man, aren't you guys useful?
Dried pears.
I like spares. You guys divvy out your lunch rations during this little rest stop as another quick break.
Purple.
And with that, we're gonna call today's session. A little bit of setup, a little bit of kindly meetings and plant attacks. I don't know, I had nothing for that.
An unplanned emergency.
An unplanned emergency. I like that one. We're gonna catch up with the Ade now after their lunch break to continue to follow the spores. To continue to discover upon Yonatan's mysterious quest made by that weird old man. We'll be back, same bad time, same bad channel.
Bye. Have a great time.
Peace.
Bye bye.
Oh.